God bless America. Hello, everybody. I am the Talk Radio Protege. This is the Protege program. Thank you so much for joining me. I've got two stories for you that I am considering. This one obviously is going to be in its own video because this is somewhat breaking news. This is from today. This is in the works for hours. The other story is about Facebook and data collection, and this has been in the works since last night. If you're interested in both of these videos, the second one is obviously coming later. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so that you don't miss it. But there was another school shooting. This school shooting actually follows with the Everytown for Gun Safety statistics. Only one person died in this school shooting. 2 others were injured. And guess who stopped the shooting? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoiler alert, it was a good guy with a gun. Let's have a look-see here. A gunman who opened fire at Great Mills, I almost said General Mills, Great Mills High School in Maryland was killed Tuesday after engaging an armed school resource officer. Wow! Guys, guess what? When school resource officers do the work of a police officer, people don't die. This is incredible. This is wow. This is deserving of the Owen Wilson. Wow. Like, who would have thought? I mean, if you believed the Parkland kids, and well, not all of the Parkland kids, but just the ones that have been rabidly pushing gun control and gun confiscation and gun banning. If you believe those guys, it's arming good guys with guns in these schools that is going to kill people. But in this case, the school resource officer managed to stop the gunman in short order. So fast that nobody but the gunman died, and only 2 people were wounded. We're not going to give the shooter a name here because that is shown to increase the likelihood of future school shooters, so we're going to skip that part. St. Mary's County Sheriff Tim Cameron said there were indications the shooter and a female victim had a prior relationship, which police are investigating as a possible motive. The school resource officer was alerted of the shooting, immediately responded and engaged the shooter. He was not injured. Our school resource officer was alerted to the event. He pursued the shooter, engaged the shooter, fired around at the shooter. The shooter fired around as well. In the hours and days to come, we will be able to determine if our school resource officer's round struck the shooter. Well, I certainly think it did because the shooter was stopped. I mean, even if the shooter killed himself and it wasn't the resource officer that fired the killing blow, the gunman died of his wounds later on, if I understand it correctly. Even if the shooter shot himself and killed himself, it's still the good guy with a gun that stopped the shooter. And here's why. It might sound counterintuitive, but here's why. You know, mass shooters go into a place expecting no armed resistance, a few minutes for them to do everything that they want, and that everybody there is going to be defenseless. So when a shooter is confronted with armed resistance, what are they going to do? Well, in the case of this fellow, perhaps. In the case of several other mass shooters, in the case of, I think, the Columbine shooters, they kill themselves because they don't want to get captured. They want to kill as many people as possible and then die. So they shoot themselves. This just goes to show you that we need armed resistance in the school. You're not going to be able to stop the shooter from buying a gun. In fact, the next school shooter is out there and has a gun already. He probably got a gun before it became illegal for him to get one. You're not going... This goes to... you know what? I'm going to dive off onto an aside right here because the short version of this story has been told. There was a shooting at a high school. An armed defender came to the defense of the students and stopped the shooting. That's the version of the story that the news media should report. Maybe they should take some time and say, the Parkland kids were wrong. An armed school resource officer successfully stopped the shooting. But everything you need to know about the shooting has been reported. What I want to dive off in an aside here on, as long as I didn't lose my did I already lose my train of thought? It's amazing how this works sometimes. Oh, where was I when I got all excited? You know what? Maybe it's a topic for another day. I know that that's incredibly diabolical of me to throw out a teaser there for a topic that I was all excited to talk about and then just drop it as if I wasn't going to talk about it in the first place. But I really wasn't planning on going off on on the tangent that I didn't get to go off on. It's left, the train of thought has left the station. I missed it. I apologize. I hope that you'll come back for the next video that's coming up later this evening. I'm just gonna publish this one. It's 5:30. I think I can get the next one recorded and up before 6. Keep a lookout for that one. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you enjoy the fact that that armed resistance does in fact stop school shootings, let me know in the comments. If you still think that armed resistance in the schools is a bad idea, let me know in the comments. I'm going to read them all. I will probably get 2. I will read them all. Come back for the next video. Until then, God bless.